Yeah.
All right. Well, we're welcoming in Bree Gardinier. Did I say it right for the first time?
Yes.
I did. I've always called you Gardner for the longest time,
Mhm.
and you never corrected me, which I love that. But you know me in names, so that
Mhm.
I'm bad.
Yes.
All right. So we have our 2020 graduate, our catcher for Semper Fi 18U Lucero. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yes.
How you holding up in this quarantine and these stay-at-home rules that we have?
It's been a little difficult, like trying to keep on task of everything with school and staying focused on what my goal is before I get to college.
Now you're working hard over at Beaumont High School, going to graduate this year. I talked to Julia Shepard earlier. She gave me a little bit of feedback, but what have they let you know that you guys are going to be doing for your graduation this year?
So far, like a lot of people are saying they're protesting about the school because their school wants to have a drive-by graduation
Right.
and not an actual ceremony for us. And a lot of people are upset because we work so hard to get to where we're at.
Absolutely. How are you feeling about it?
I have mixed emotions about it because I want to be able to graduate with my friends because it's been a journey to get to where we're at. But I don't know. I feel like they're doing the best with what they have, and
Right.
that's all they can do.
Well, remember that's, even though you might not get your traditional graduation right away, it doesn't take away from the fact that you're graduating.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we're excited for that. You've worked
Mhm.
hard. You've worked hard to do this, and so um, let's talk a little bit about your life in softball. So since are heading in that direction, you started playing softball at what age?
5.
5. Over in Beaumont, or where were you playing
Mhm.
at?
I
Okay,
was playing in Beaumont.
yeah, all
Mhm.
right. And when did you start getting into travel ball?
Right around the age 11 or 12-ish because I would go back and forth between soccer and softball. And my last year of rec ball, I had to decide if I want to continue playing soccer or softball. And I decided to play softball, and then that's when I joined travel ball.
Do you miss soccer at all?
No,
No.
I'm glad
The
I did
running up and down the
softball.
field. What position did you play in soccer?
Goalie.
Really? So you didn't do
Yeah.
all the running. You just okay. So you were busy maybe 2-3 minutes out of the game.
Yeah.
And it was that for AYSO?
hmm
Nice. So you went into travel. What was your first travel team?
Sudden impact
Sudden Impact, and
with
who
Coach
was
Ruffalo.
Coach Ruffalo started you off? Right. Okay. How did that come about for you?
It was a change at first, going from like rec ball, jumping into travel because it's like strict, like it's fast paced, and rec ball is kind of slowish. So that was a jump.
We know you were about 12. You said 11, 12.
hmm
Okay. So you get into to at that time it was Sudden Impact with Ruffalo.
hmm
And I know at that time you actually, as you got a little bit older, you started uh, working up with some of the older teams on
hmm
Sudden Impact as well. How did you feel making that jump from a younger age team to an older age, but still being young?
I was excited because like I saw myself growing as a player, and like, oh, like this is cool being able to play with the older girls and looking up to them. So that was cool.
Well, it's exciting because I've got to watch you grow from that. And I'm actually a lot of times when I get to interview these girls, a lot of them I didn't get the opportunity to see them when they were young. I got them for the last year with Coach John and Coach Howard and Coach James. But with you, I got to see you grow, and you've turned into an amazing catcher, a powerful, strong-armed catcher. So exciting to see you do this. When you made your move, you had a chance. I know the story very well. You were given the option of going 18U Sudden Impact at a young age, or stick with Coach Mike Ruffalo, who at that time moved on to Semper Fi with Coach John Lucero under the organization. What made you choose to go to Semper Fi instead of making that jump at the 18U level to Sudden Impact?
With Mike, I've grown with him since rec ball because I was on his rec ball teams, and he explained to us what Semper Fi was about, just the family that they created and the teams, and like nobody's left behind with Semper Fi. That's why I wanted to stick with Semper Fi because you saw the connections that some teams don't really have.
Now you tossed and turned about that decision. You feel like you made the
Yes,
right decision?
I do.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
Yeah, you did. And it took me a little bit to follow you.
Hmm.
So you're going to get an opportunity today to talk a little bit about your softball career and people that you want to thank that were an influence in your life. The last season of 18U, one of the great things that we do at the end of every day in our last game is we go out to the circle and we pray.
Hmm.
We cross our arms. Now, God was a big influence there in that team. How did God help you through your journey through the ups and downs?
He helped a lot because he allowed me to push through like whatever was hard that day. He made it happier by when we would go to practices, being able to bond with the girls. They made all the bad days like just go away. Like he pushed the good energy.
Now, how did you like the dugout and the girls? I mean, what were the things that really made your time at Semper Fi so pleasurable for the last year? Your experiences. Tell us what it's like in your dugout during the last season.
Lots of laughter. And when I first joined, everybody took me in like I was already a part of the family and stuff, and that made the transition easier because going to a new team, being the new player, it could be scary and stuff. But once you like walk in, they're all family towards you.
Now, you had to leave Mike Ruffalo and head over to the gold team with John Lucero. Were you nervous about making that move?
Yes, I was because I've been with Mike for so long, and he's helped me a lot.
He absolutely has. Now, with your travel with Coach John this past year, you've had a lot of conversations with college coaches at the end of games. What was it like to have those moments where the college coach wanted to talk to you at the end of a game?
It was exciting because I saw growth in myself. Like, oh, they liked me. They like how I play, and so. And I was excited because I was able to get to the next step to be able to play after high school.
Now, so we're talking a little bit about that. Now, I see that you're having a little. You were having a great start of your high school season
Yes.
after a wonderful summer year at Semper Fi, and you guys got cut short. How did that make you feel?
I was sad because this group of girls that we had was amazing. Like you can't get that back, and um, it was tough because we were doing so good,
Yeah, I
and
think
it's hard. We were 10-0 in preseason.
yeah, you were the king of the hill. It was good to see. It was fun to watch you play.
Hmm.
Um, no, I've had the luxury and the honor of being able to coach you in the dugout and also coach against you in high school,
Hmm.
and it's always been a pleasure being in the dugout with you and then across from the dugout from you, and I've always rooted for you. Excuse me. Um, with your high school team and your travel ball team, you've had to have some great moments.
Hmm.
So tell me about one of the greatest moments, or tell us, excuse me, your listeners out here, one of your greatest moments in softball.
For softball, I would probably say high school. This last season, we were in the Northwood tournament, and these past years we didn't do necessarily so well in these tournaments. But this year we won all of our games, and we ended up winning the whole tournament. And that was the first time in a while that we did that. So that was a good stepping stone for our team to see how good we were together.
You've had some great moments, and you picked that. That must have been an amazing time because I can remember. Well, if I'm not mistaken, was it 5 home runs and 6 at bats?
Yes.
Okay, and that didn't ring up. That didn't come up as one of the best moments for you.
That was an exciting moment too, because I was just trying to have fun that game, and I wasn't really focused on, oh wow, I hit another home run. It just kept happening.
Yeah. Okay. So now your your senior summer year of travel ball, which would have been your farewell uh, to the Semper Fi girls, gets taken away from you due to the COVID-19. I know that's got to be rough.
Hmm. Yes.
So, what's the one thing that you're going to miss the most from these girls that's in the dugout with you?
Just the laughter that we had. Like every time we just joke around, we'd always have fun. Like we were serious at times when the time was necessary, but then we just laugh a lot and dance. Lots of dancing.
You had a wide range of girls on this last year. I think we had somewhere in about 17 girls in the dugout at some
Mhm.
point. And we've had some injuries and some things, but it always seemed to be the next person up. How was that being able to, have so many girls in the dugout? Did everybody seem to be on the same page?
Oh yes, because like when say Jackie got hurt, we were all there for her to like we were helping her and we were there for her with anything she needed help with and just allowing her to get through what had happened to her knee.
So now we talked about some of the showcases and how well you did in those and performed in those. Now, we talked about how you feel when a college coach talks to you. You had a few college coaches that wanted you. You had some that stalked you in a sense. Now, go ahead and tell our listeners the school you picked.
I decided to go to Westcliff University in Irvine, California.
So, what made you make that decision? Because you had a D1 school looking at you. You had a couple of Division twos on the East Coast looking at you. What made the decision for you to pick Westcliff here in Irvine?
Mhm. From the beginning, when I talked to Coach Sony, I could tell that she was for her players and she really cared about softball and the team. And once when I visited the campus, it felt like a home, and you can't get that a lot. You have to feel at home when you visit a school.
And now your home stadium is going to be where?
Orange Great Park.
That nice field, right? That
Yes.
big one. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
nice to have as a home stadium. Have you been able to keep in touch with coach and some of the players during this
Hmm.
off time?
Yeah. We've had Zoom meetings
Hmm.
a lot, talking about what we want to focus on, what our strengths and weaknesses are. So once we get to the school, we can focus on what we need to do in order to get better. And we've been doing a lot of like talking to get to know one another. So once we go to school, we're already a family.
Now, are you going to be living on the dorms out there?
Yes, we have apartments.
Apartments.
Yes.
How's going to be your time away from grandma?
It's
Are you
gonna
going
be
to miss her?
hard. Yes, I am. It's
She
gonna be
was.
hard.
She's a huge supporter of yours.
Yes, she is.
So. Now, since the summer season, hopefully we still get some time to do some work together before the end of the year, or at
Yes.
the end of your travel ball experience, when this whole COVID thing goes over. In your softball season, you didn't get to have your senior day, so we're letting you use this voice right now, this platform to stand up and talk and tell us. So, if you were to sit and say something to the girls right now, the underclassmen, the girls that are graduating with you this year at Semper and your coaches and your grandmother and them. Go ahead and use this opportunity. I want you to take this moment. This is all you. You go ahead and say what you guys say.
I just want to like just thank everyone for getting me to where I am at, because like without a lot of you guys, I wouldn't have been able to push and stuff, and especially with you allowing me to do these lessons and look up to Fish, your daughter. It really helped me a lot.
So don't do that. You're making me cry. I think this is why Coach John's not doing this, and I am.
Sorry.
This is hard. This is
I
hard.
know. I always had Fish to look up to.
Oh, you're
I
good,
had
huh? You're good.
I had Fish to look up to, and she helped me a lot because I wanted to be like her.
Remember your grandma's words. You got a fishinizer,
Hmm.
which was always a great compliment to her. And at the end, your grandma was is so proud of you, and
Hmm.
continues to be. How about the girls that you get a chance to say goodbye to the girls in the dugout on Semper Fi? How's that?
It's hard because we grew as a family in this short period of time, and they helped you on bad days, and that helped a lot.
And some parting words for your coaching staff, and then for your grandmother and your support team.
Just thank you for pushing me to get to where I'm at.
Well, it's exciting to have this opportunity. You're going to do great. I'm so ecstatic that you are at Irvine, because that's only a 45-minute, hour 15-minute drive for me to come watch you play, and
Hmm.
you will definitely see us and Coach John and everybody in the stands rooting you on in your home games. And Grandma will be there. We know that. So
Mm-hmm.
she'll be there probably 2 hours early.
She always is.
If that was one thing I could always know, is that if I pulled up to a tournament, she was going to be there ahead of us. So she would get the good
Yes.
parking spot. But
Mm-hmm.
now I want you to take this moment and say goodbye. We're going to end this, but I want you to end it, and I want you to know that I'm very proud of you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Wish you
Yes.
nothing but the best. So now you go ahead and end this call. You go ahead and say your goodbyes.
Thank you for listening, and
I'm sorry. Hon. Well, wish you the best. Okay. And
thank you.
we'll see you again soon. All right.
Yes.
Thanks, Bree. Bye
You're
now.
welcome.
Bye.
Bye.